Welcome to our weekly program, The Inside Story of Chabad in America through the Mindel Archives. Today I want to continue, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, with the Rebbe's letters, what we can learn out from the Rebbe's English letters. Some questions, answers. A person asked the Rebbe, what is the difference between atzvus and merirus? Between depression and bitter. Then he says to the Rebbe that he has bad dreams, and that makes him depressed. I think he probably told the Rebbe what it was also anyways. And then he says he's depressed, he overeats, he writes, he eats, and he's overweight, and that makes him atzvus, that makes him depressed. So that's what he writes to the Rebbe. Many times the Rabbi Mindel has letters that I guess the Rebbe told him to keep the people that wrote. Usually it doesn't have, but there are some. So here, this is one of the things that I saw next to the answer. So the Rebbe says like this: David HaMelech says that every morning when a person gets up, always place God before me. So the Rebbe tells him, there is a God. Just like if you would have stood in front of a king, Melech Basav Adam, you would eat different. You probably wouldn't overeat. He didn't say that. He didn't say overeat. But you would eat different. Or you would behave different. The same thing also, you should know in the morning, you should always right away get up that you're standing in front of the Eibishter. And this is also an answer for the depression. He says such a feeling is often the result of thinking oneself unimportant. And therefore, the Rebbe says, it is of no consequence how one acts or behaves and becomes discouraged. Because he thinks that is garnished. This is this is very important. But realizing, this is from the Rebbe, standing in front of King of all the kings, whom the king has honored a privilege with important tasks. In other words, the Rebbe is telling him that you're an important person. And like it says, Bishvili Nivra Olam. Every person should say, the world is because of me. It's not, in other words, he shouldn't feel unimportant. He is the most important in this world. It emphasizes, the Rebbe says, the importance of every individual, and especially you, and the Rebbe underlined the word you, have the opportunity to influence others by being a living example. That gives you a special schus. Dwelling to this, you automatically get rid of depression. In other words, feel that you're somebody. And most of the time, the depressed people, they feel they're depressed. What's atzvus? Atzvus, depression, paralyzes a person. Merirus energizes a person. Bitterness. A person feels guilty sometimes, and he should many times, but that's fine. But it shouldn't paralyze you. Sometimes it's bitter. You take medicine, the doctor said it's important, it's bitter. You're not going to take it? But you know that the end is it will be good. So medicine is bitter, but you should take it because it energizes you, but not atzvus. There's a saying, which I heard a few times. There is atzvus is not a mitzvah. It's not an aveda. It doesn't say in the Torah anywhere that depression is a sin. It doesn't say. But what depression can bring, no other sin can bring. The worst thing, the person is depressed for whatever reason, or as this person wrote, the Rebbe wrote that he feels that he's not worth anything, and all the problems in the world we see outside is because the youth, they're depressed. They don't know where to go. They don't know what to do. So when atzvos is not a sin, but that can bring aveirus, mikvah is not a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah to go. You should go. A person goes to the mikveh. He was clean. I'm talking about a man. A woman says a bracha, but a man doesn't. It's not a mitzvah. It's a takonis Ezra. Which I don't want to go into the idea of a mikvah. But what a mikvah can bring, no other mitzvah can bring. What depression can bring, no other sin can bring. What mikvah can bring, no other mitzvah, because that is mitayr. That makes a person tired. So this is one part of the thing. Then there is a PS, and this is amazing to this person. That's why it's a different PS that I wrote. That's an amazing answer. A person dreams at night what he thinks he learns in the daytime. He says, you probably learned about, we're talking about a frum yid, about chibut hakever. Maybe there was a time that it says in Tanya, purgatory of the grave. Chibut hakever, and kaf hakela, the hollow of a sling. You dreamed about it. You know, after 120 years, if you learn Tanya speaks about it. You know, for certain things a person did in this world, this is a punishment. This is a suffer. He suffers. Very kaf hakela and chibut hakever. And I guess the Rabbi didn't say, but I guess this person learned and he's into it. He thinks what's going to happen after he dies and the whole thing. So he becomes depressed, I guess. And you dreamed about it. And instead of being happy to avert by learning Tehillim, Mishnayis, and Tanya, as it says in Ayom Yom, instead of that, the Nefesh HaBahamis continues to use the opposite. There is Chibud HaKever. There is. But there is an Eitzah to get rid of it. That he doesn't. In other words, he focuses in one thing, but it says in Ayom Yom that a person should say Mishnayis, Chazal Mishnayis by heart, Tanya, and Tehillim all the time. When a person walks outside, he should always have in mind these things. And through that you'll get rid of it. So on one hand, a person dreams things like that, but on the other hand, there is an eitzah. There's an eitzah what to prevent this. Whenever these kind of ideas enter your mind, doiche b'shtei yodayim, as it says in Tanya, push it away from your mind with other things, and you'll be b'simcha. And simcha poilitz geder. This is the PS. So in other words, the Rebbe tells him that a person depressed is not. This is the Rebbe mentions in quite a few letters like that. That depression brings one of the worst things, and don't dwell in that. If it comes into your mind, push it away. Think about something else. And you want to get rid of all these things. Learn Mishnayos, learn Tanya, and say Tehillim, and you'll be b'simcha, and the Rebbe will help you. This is an answer from the Rebbe. Thank you very much.